guys, welcome back. Today's video is a true get ready with me. I just blow dried my hair, that's why it is kind of crazy. So I'm gonna try to get that out of the way, but I'm truly getting ready. I have been working all day and you know, I didn't have meetings and stuff today, so my work look was just not that cute. Like, I was wearing workout pants and a hoodie, and tonight I have a date night with my husband, so I kind of need to step up my game, and I decided to take a shower. Step one, if you want to step up your game, take a shower before a date. And yeah, now I'm gonna do some makeup, and I think I wanna do something fun and a little bit more colorful and put some effort into this eye look, but I don't have tons of time. So I'm gonna do this as quickly as I can without rushing through, because I do wanna have the look turn out to be super cute and super pretty. I hope you guys have had a great week. I had the most traumatic thing ever happen. I was opening a bunch of boxes, and one was from Crate & Barrel, and I ordered a bunch of plates because I have a new townhouse in LA, and it's not like I'm moving from my house, so I kind of have to start fresh and buy everything new, because it's not like I'm gonna rate my plates from my current house. So I ordered all these plates, and I didn't know how heavy the box would be, so I went to pick it up, and it like fell out of my hands and like snapped back my middle nail, and I'm not joking, you guys, the whole nail was gone. Like, I've never had that happen before, and I've actually always been kind of curious what it looks like underneath the nail. Now I know, and I never want to see that sight again. It was gushing blood. It was like midnight. I was telling Jeff, like, oh my god, babe, we have to go to the hospital. I'm bawling, crying. And he was like, well, we're gonna go, and there's gonna be people with gunshot wounds, and I'm gonna be like, hi, my wife broke her nail. And that kind of put things in perspective, so I went to bed, and then went to get my nail fixed later in the week when, you know, it wasn't as tender and as still like wet blood. It had kind of dried out a little bit. So this is the nail. Let's see if it'll focus. Right here, so you can barely tell it happened. From the back, you can tell it's like a fake nail, it's not my nail, but they do this so that when your nail comes back in, it grows in the right shape, and it also protects this exposed nail bed. So I am very happy to have a nail again. Be very careful. That was so traumatic. I never want to snap a nail off like that again. If that has happened to any of you guys, I have so much sympathy for you. It is the worst, so I understand. But yeah, today let's just get into it. I'm gonna go straight in with foundation. I do have my moisturizer on, and then I did put the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist on just to give my face kind of that sheen and that luminescence, and it's like kind of like a spray oil, which I like to do as a last step. I feel like oils are really great primers for me personally. I do have dry skin, so I just love the way that they make my foundation lay. So I'm gonna go in with my Woke Up Like This foundation. Today I'm using the shade Warmth, and I have my damp beauty sponge. I just wet it and squeezed it out. It's clean. Super important, always go with a clean sponge, you guys, unless you want to get acne. I'm telling you, clean your sponges. It's the most common and easy to fix culprit of breakouts. So I just have some of that on the back of my hand. I'm just gonna dab a little bit of the excess off and go in and pounce it into my skin. Should probably use a mirror so I can see what I'm doing, since the viewfinder is a little far for me. So how have you guys been? Are you off to a good 2019 so far? Are you sticking with any resolutions you made? I know for me, I try to avoid making like sweeping, daunting resolutions, because I just feel like it's really not the way that I work. Like, when I have too much pressure that I put on myself, it actually backfires, and I don't keep like the goal that I set. So I oftentimes just like to know generally like some changes that I want to make in my life without being too specific. Like, if I want to be working out more, be more fit, my goal is like to get healthier. I don't say I have to go to the gym 6 times a week at this time in the morning, because then it's too much for my schedule, or it just doesn't, you know, work out. And if I fail one day, then I feel like I totally effed up and I'm done, and like that's not a good mindset. So I generally just made some like goals, just things that I think I could be doing that will make my life better and make me a more productive, rested, happy person. But I didn't do anything too crazy. So I'd love to know like what you guys have started doing for yourselves and if there's anything that you feel works or hasn't been working with your resolutions. Okay, so that was actually a pretty light layer of foundation, but it's working for me. That's what I love about Woke Up Like This, is it is so full coverage that you can go in with just a little bit and get the coverage that you need, but if you wanna just kind of keep it light, you can do that and not have to build it up to get the coverage. So I'm gonna stop there and go in with concealer. So I'm like scraping the bottom of the barrel with concealer because I've been traveling, and as usual, and I was at the townhouse in LA and left a bunch of my concealers there. So I'm like, don't have my shade, I don't have the kinds I like. I have the Tarte Shape Tape today. These both obviously aren't my shade. This is way too light and this is way too dark. So what I'm gonna have to do is mix them a little bit just so that I can like get some of my shade going. So I'll probably go in with a very light amount of this because this is such full coverage. If I go in with too much of this, it's gonna be way too dark. But I have light and deep here. I really need to go to Sephora and get some shades and formulas I like. I like the Milk Makeup. That's a really nice cleaner formula one. I'm working on one that will be coming out in the spring that's actually meant to be a companion for Woke Up Like This. So I've been using my Lab Sample a ton, which is also downstairs. But yeah, I just don't have anything. It's like I've completely run out of concealers that I like, so I'm kind of using up things I have that aren't my favorite. So I'm gonna go in with the Shape Tape, and this is such a full coverage formula, so I'm just gonna be pretty light. I'm gonna go in with one swipe of light. And I'm gonna take this onto my lids and just use it as my eyeshadow base. And then to even that out, I'm gonna very lightly handed go in with Deep. Like, you guys, this is such a full coverage concealer. I'm talking like a little bit. Like you can see, I just barely dotted that. Just to kind of take the edge off how light is. And then I'm gonna blend that in. Okay. So now, before that creases, I want to set my under eyes, and I'm going to go in with my brightening powder. I just think that I could use at this time of the day after a nice busy afternoon. I'm feeling a little fatigued, and I'm trying not to drink coffee in the afternoon because I do think it's keeping me up at night. But I could use a little extra brightening. I did not sleep well last night for some weird reason. I wasn't like stressed. I just was like excited about things that I was working on before bed, and I was thinking about them. I woke up in the night thinking about them, got ideas, needed to write them down, and then before I knew it, I got no sleep. And see how much that just brightens, but you don't have to cake on more concealer, so it's just a really great way to diffuse light and just wake the skin up and give you that fresh look around the eyes. But I just love that it's powder, so I don't have to go in with layers of concealer because I'm not getting any younger, and my under eyes are definitely like, you know, starting to show those fine lines and wrinkles, and the last thing I want to do is cake on unnecessary product where it can just settle into lines. And I find that powders don't settle into lines as much as liquids do throughout the day, so anytime I can cut out adding more liquid product on and replace it with powder around my eye area, I've been really into that because I find it looks better. I'm also going to go ahead and set my T-zone. I'm going to stick with brightening. I'm going to just put it on my damp beauty sponge. I'm just going to press that into those areas that I tend to really need some extra staying power. My T-zone, when I do get oily, is the first place. And I'm obviously touching my chin throughout the day, so I find my makeup wears off a lot there. In the creases of my nose, so that the makeup doesn't settle in there. I find that pressing powder in really keeps the makeup from caking up there. I'm gonna put a line down the center of my nose, and then the center of my forehead. So now I'm going to take this Sephora brush. It's Pro Precision Powder Brush number 59. I just like it. It's not overly dense, so it just lightly puts powder on when you don't want to like really press powder on too heavily. And I'm going to go in with my classic translucent powder, and I'm just going to dust that around the rest of the face to set all the other places where I didn't put the brightening powder. Okay, Okay, and now we'll go in with our eyeshadows, and then we'll go back and finish off the skin with our bronzer and our highlight and contour, blush, and all of that. So just to protect the base from any eyeshadows that may fall down, I'm gonna put a powder shield, and I'm just gonna use Classic for that, and just stamp it under the eyes to catch any eyeshadow fallout, specifically in this outer area where I use the darker shades to add intensity. Just so that we can sweep it away later and not worry that it is going to completely mess up the work we just did. So now I'm going to go into the One, my eyeshadow palette, and I am going to play with quite a few shades in here today, but I'm going for sort of a fun, colorful look that uses this yellow, this orange, and the pinks. It's kind of like a summery eye, which is so funny because it's like pretty chilly and windy today and it's not summer, but I don't know, I'm feeling it, so I'm gonna do it. So I'm first gonna take just a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm first gonna go in with this creamy white shade First Base here, just to give a good base for all the shadows to go in on top and kind of blank out any remaining discoloration on my eyelid and just kind of add that brightness. And then I'm gonna take a tapered fluffy brush and go into the crease with this shade here, Everything, which is just sort of like an orange sherbet kind of shade. It's really not too different from my skin tone. It's not gonna be too obvious, but it is gonna be a good transition. And I'm just gonna dust that pretty messily through the crease just to lay it down. And now I'm gonna go in with this shade here called Baby, which is this baby pink, and I'm gonna kind of put that a little bit deeper in the crease than I put Everything, but it is also going to act as a transition shade, so you can be pretty messy with it and blow it out. It's not meant to be overly precise. And I'm taking that on the same tapered fluffy brush, dusting off the excess and running that through the crease. So this shade Baby is just gonna kind of peek out behind all the other shadows we're about to put on. So it's gonna be there, but it's going to be so subtle, and I love it for transitioning whenever I'm doing a colorful look, because it just kind of gives that light to the eye, and it's there, and it kind of helps the shadows fade out, but it's not overly obvious. So next, I'm going to take a little bit more of a tapered brush, and I'm gonna go into the crease with this shade here, Infatuation. And this is a really beautiful, kind of cool toned berry pink. And you don't need to worry about getting shadows on the lid, because we are gonna do a cut crease today, because I'm feeling ambitious. So don't worry about this dragging too far in on the lid, but do focus it really on that outer V, because that's where we really want the shadow to have the most intensity, kind of deeper in the crease where we just put Baby, and really kind of wedge that in there. So taking this more tapered brush, I'm just gonna start building that up and then dragging it in. And we are gonna bring this all the way in, because when we do our cut crease, it'll be really nice to have some of that shadow in here in the inner corner as well, but we wanna focus more of it on the outer V. So now I'm gonna deepen up and add even more intensity to that outer V, and I'm gonna go in with Shady here, which is a really beautiful burgundy shade. And I'm taking this really small brush to just wedge it right there along the lash line and really precisely in the outer V to keep that concentration of pigment and depth in that outer V area. So I'm just gonna start wiggling that on the lash line and then dragging it up. And this just allows you to really start to build that kind of cut crease shape by letting you precisely place it directly into the crease. And don't worry if it looks a little harsh, we will blend all the edges out. You just want to kind of get that color down. Okay, and now I'm going to take my MAC 217 brush and go in with a little bit of Baby, tap off the excess, and just blend out those edges so that we don't have anything too harsh. So So now we're gonna cut the crease. And if you guys haven't done a cut crease before, don't worry, it's really, really simple. And this way of doing it with concealer instead of actually trying to carve out the crease with eyeshadow is so foolproof and so much easier. So I'm gonna go back in with my Shape Tape in light, and I actually want a really light shade for this, so that's fine that it's so light. I'm just gonna take some on the back of my hand off of the doe foot, and I'm gonna take a flat brush. This is actually called Cut Crease. It's by Sigma. It's called a cut crease brush. So I actually love this brush because it has this shape that allows you to place concealer right on the curve of your eyelid. So you can just cut it out super easily, and it's pretty foolproof. So I'm gonna take some of that concealer, and you wanna go in with a pretty light layer. I've done this before where I go in with way too much concealer and I have a really hard time blending it out into the shadow, and once you do that, it's really hard to remove it. So just start small. You can go in and add, but I just go in with like a pretty thin layer, and I just start right here at the inner corner and just follow the shape of my crease. And then right here in this outer corner where it starts to fade into the eyeshadow, you just want to take your finger and pat it so that the concealer blends into the eyeshadow as well as you can make it. And now while it's still damp, I'm going to go in with this flat definer brush. This is a MAC 242, and I'm going to take this shade here, Butterflies, and I'm going to place that in the center of the lid. Okay, now that I've placed that, I'm gonna take this orange shade here called Feels and place that just to the left of it. And now to kind of blend that orange into the dark shady shade in the outer V, I'm gonna take Infatuation just to bridge that gap. Okay, so there we go. We've got sort of this gradient of yellow to orange to pink to that deep burgundy in the outer V. And then here on the inner corner, I'm gonna take my finger and take this crushing shade here, which is like a beautiful peach champagne. And I'm just going to, probably with my pinky to be super precise, and I'm just going to blend that into the inner tear duct and also into the yellow. See how beautiful that is? I just love this eyeshadow look. So now we want to go and focus on our blending on this outer V that we've got everything on the lid. So I'm going to go back in with that MAC 242 or that MAC 217, and I'm going to take a mixture of Baby and Infatuation, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to further blend out those edges and kind of tie the whole look together. Very lightly. You don't want to add too much color here, but you do just want to bring it all back in. And then on the brow bone, I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to take that crushing shade again. Okay, so that is our cut crease. It's super simple. I know it can be kind of intimidating if you're not used to doing cut creases, to see like somebody cut out the eyeshadow with concealer and you feel like, God, if I mess up, it's done. I have to wipe it off. But I swear it's super easy. And if you use a brush like this that's got that perfect shape to just like swipe the concealer right through the eyelid and follow the natural shape that normally would crease when you open and close your eye, it's really simple and it does really make the eyeshadows pop. It's super pretty and it's an easy way to clean up. If you've used some dark shadows and gone too far in on the lid, you can just erase it all with concealer. So I do love cut creases. It is a little bit more time consuming, so I don't do them on the everyday, but for a night out or something fun to amp up my look easily, I do love them. I'm a fan. So I'm gonna kind of time lapse through this next eye just so that this video isn't a million years long, and I just showed you how to do this one, and then we'll do the rest of the eye makeup. Okay, so I think we're done with the shadows. So now I want to go in with some liner. And I was kind of like torn between doing a wing or not. And I think I'm going to do a wing. So I'm gonna take this Tom Ford Eye Defining Pen Stilo. It has two sides. I use the long brush tip. I never use this other side, which is like this really tiny little point. I find it just like really messes me up. So I'm just gonna draw a line on the upper lid and then create a wing. So a good tip to creating a wing is always point it up towards the end of your eyebrow, the tail of your eyebrow. And I find that just always kind of helps me get them semi-even. I mean, I would say that they're usually cousins, not sisters, but it does kind of like give you a little bit of a guideline. So I generally just like to point a line up towards the tail and then just drag it in to connect it. Like that. Now we'll do the other eye. Okay, so if you mess up or just want to clean up, which I usually do with a wing, I never get it quite right the first time, unfortunately. You can take some concealer. So I have our cut crease brush, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit more concealer on the back of my hand and just very lightly clean up those edges to make them a little bit more even. Now I want to take a little bit of black eyeshadow and just a really small brush and kind of run it over that line to diffuse it out a little bit. So I'm gonna go in with Plunge here from the palette. And this black doesn't have a ton of fallout, which is really nice when you are kind of at the end of your eyeshadow look and you don't wanna like get black everywhere. And I'm just very lightly patting that on that outer crease to give the smoky effect to the cat eye, so it's like not so sharp. And what this does is it just gives a look to the cat eye that is a little bit more smoky and blends into the eyeshadows a lot more seamlessly and just less severe. So now that we're done with the upper lid, we're gonna go and do the lower lash line. So I am going to take this Sigma flat definer brush and I'm gonna take this shade here, Shady, and wiggle that along my lower lash line just to create sort of a liner and defined effect, and I'm connecting it with the wing in the outer V. I really want to know why I have to do this not cute mouth open face every time I do liner. When I watch my videos back, I'm like, Annie, that is so unattractive. But it's just like a natural like reflex or something. I can't not do it. Then I'm gonna take this little brush. It's a MAC 210 synthetic brush, but they don't make this anymore, any sort of little like pencil brush. And I'm basically working in reverse. So now I'm gonna go in with this lighter shade Infatuation to blend out Shady. And then I'm gonna take my bigger blending brush, the MAC 217, and I'm gonna go in with Feels to further blend all of those shadows out. And then I'm taking my original blending brush that I had Everything in Baby, and I'm just taking a tiny bit more Everything, and I'm just gonna very lightly help diffuse that even further. And this is just sort of like a finishing touch for me. You don't necessarily need to do this. It doesn't really add much impact. It just kind of gives that last final blend to everything. Now I want to line my waterline, so I'm going to go in with my favorite waterline at the moment, which is the Marc Jacobs Highliner. This is just like a mini size. It's in black. I have a lot of shades. I have a red one, which I love. I wore this so much in the fall. I have my brown one, but I think for this one I just want to do black because we have so much color on the lid. I don't think it makes sense to go with a colored liner. And I'm just going to do my upper and lower waterline. So the eyes are pretty much done. We'll do lashes and mascara after we finish the face, because I don't know if this happens to you guys, but like when I put false lashes on and they're so big and fluffy and then I go in with my other face powders, it like accumulates in the lashes. The lashes like collect all the dust and then I look and I'm like trying to get it out. So I like to just do the lashes last so I don't have to deal with that. So let's do the face. For bronzer, I'm gonna go in with my golden translucent powder just to give a warm veil. I don't need anything too cray-cray. I just wanna have a light dusting sort of all over the face because I'm gonna go in and contour, which will be a little bit more structured and precise. So taking some of the cap and dusting off the excess. And then I'm gonna go in and bronze. It's probably driving some of you crazy. I know it bugs me when people don't tie their hair back when they're doing their makeup, but I have to go out and I don't want a crease in my hair because I washed it today. So that's the compromise. I'm sorry if this was very annoying that I had to move my hair around the entire time. See how much that just wakes up the face? It's so nice going with bronzer. I feel like once I go in with bronzer, lashes, it's like complete. It all comes together. So now I want to contour and I'm going to use an oldie but a goodie. I was just clearing out some makeup because I was taking some up to LA and I used to use this all the time. This is actually a new one because I got one in PR and I already owned it. So this is a new one. It's the Marc Jacobs Instamark Light Filtering Contour Powder, and this shade is Mirage Filter. So it's got this really nice banana powder that I used to love and exclusively like set my under eyes with when I was like really into that really bright under eye. This was kind of like when Mario and Kim became like famous for contouring and I saw him go with banana powder, so I went ham on the banana powder. There's like a good year span of me with photos with just like the brightest, whitest, most overdone under eye, but at the time I was so into that look. So I'm not going to use this since I already set my under eyes, but we're going to go in with this. And I like this because it is a cool tone brown, but it's not so ashy. There's a hint of warmth, and I just find it's a really flattering contour shade for me. So I'm going to take my NARS Ita brush. I've been back on the Ita brush train lately. I used to use this a lot, and it's just such a great shape. And I'm going to take some of this contour powder, dust off the excess, and just go and carve out my cheeks. And then I'm also gonna take it down the sides of my nose, do a light nose contour, and under the nose, and a little bit on the tops of the forehead. And lately when I've been contouring, I like to just go over everything with my bronzer brush just to help melt it all together so that it's not like contour, bronzer, blush, highlight. I like it when it all just kind of looks like it belongs there. They can live together as one in harmony. Okay, so now we'll do blush, and I am gonna go in with, let's see, I have this super orangey, peachy Urban Decay one called Indecent that I love. I'm such an orange, peachy blush person. And then I also have this Lorac one, which is a little bit pinker, called Technicolor. So I think I'm gonna start with this, and if I feel like I need a little bit more pink to tie in the berry and pinks on the eyes, I will go over top it with this one. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit of that Technicolor, that pinker shade, and just kind of put that in the center. Okay, now we'll do highlights. And I can't show you this highlight because it's something that I'm working on, but it's basically taken over my soul. It's all I want in this lifetime. I can't use any other highlights at this point. It is my world. Yeah, I can't wait to get it out to share it with you guys because I'm truly obsessed. And then even though we already highlighted the inner tear duct, I just can't help myself. I'm gonna take a little bit of highlighter on my finger and just further intensify that inner corner. I love And then I'm gonna do kind of what I did with the bronzer brush after I did my contour and just go back in. I'm gonna go back with my blush brush just to melt the highlighter into the blush. It's just something I've been doing lately, and I find that the end result just looks so much more blended and seamless. Just really lightly. You don't wanna dust off, you know, your highlighter or your bronzer. You just wanna help everything sort of mesh. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my brows off camera. Or actually, I'll do them on camera, but I'll just speed through them because it's kind of boring. But I know a lot of you guys like to see it. And to do that today, I'm gonna go in with my, you know what I'm gonna try? This is weird and I'm kind of scared because it's big and I'm used to going in with like such a smaller little precise thing, and I haven't used it, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but it's this Benefit Brow Contour Pro, and it seems like a cool concept because it has a lighter shade and a deeper shade, a definer, a highlighter. So I'm gonna start with the lighter shade in case we're not happy. Twist it up. Wish me luck. Oh, it doesn't have a spoolie on it. That's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna take a spoolie from my Hourglass pen. And let's see how this goes. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate that brow pen. It's definitely creamier than the normal Benefit formula. I noticed like it ran down a lot quicker and I had to like twist it back up much faster than I usually do. Their other formula seems like almost a little bit harder, but I do like it. It's good. I wish I had a spoolie though. Like I need a spoolie when I'm doing my brows. So when a brow pencil doesn't have one, especially when I'm traveling, and if I don't have another spoolie with me or remember to bring one, it is so frustrating. So I don't normally buy brow pencils without a spoolie, so I'm not sure if I would buy that one again, but I like it. It's nice. Okay, so I'm gonna set my brows with my Hourglass Arch Fiber Gel in Soft Brunette, and I really like this gel. I feel like it just really does hold my brows in place. I like that it's tinted so that if I'm not filling in my brows to just like go to the gym or something, it adds something, so I don't really have to worry that my brows are like really suffering and struggling. And it's just a really good color for me and really natural. Okay, so now I'm gonna pop on some lashes. I'm going to use the Lily lashes in the style Mykonos. I've definitely used this pair before. They're pre-cut. They are well loved. This might be their last use they've got in them. And I'm gonna use the Duo Clear Lash Glue to do that. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be back to finish up the lips and the lower lash mascara. Okay, so I have my lashes on, and then I also did my lower lash mascara. I used this Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Major Volume Mascara. I really like this mascara. It's not a clean formula. I have a very hard time finding clean formulas that I like. Actually, have not found one. So I've been using this, but if I were to develop one, which I'm definitely working on, this is like the vibe I would go for. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my lip balm off, line my lips, put on lipstick, and we will have the completed look. So today I think I want to go in with something peachy. So I'm going to go in with Leo, which is a peachy nude. Cameron's a little bit more of a pinky nude, but I kind of want that peachy vibe since we have some warm kind of sunset vibes going on with the eye look. So I'm going to first line my lips. I'm going to use this Makeup Forever pencil. These are called the Artist Color Pencil. What's great about these is they market them that you can use them on your eyes, your lips, or your cheeks. So you could use it as an eyeliner. You could put it on your cheek and try to blend it out as a blush. You could use it as a lip liner. So they're really multi-purpose, which I think is awesome. So this one is called Wherever Walnut. I've been loving this. It's just a really great mid-tone nude. It's not too cool or warm. And I'm just gonna line my lips. It kind of gives me MAC Strip Down vibes. Such a great liner. And then I'm gonna go in with Leo. I love this lip color. I think it's so perfect with this look. So I'm not gonna wear this out on my date, my sweatshirt. So I'm gonna go change and I'll be right back and we will go through the completed look. Okay, so this is the completed look. I'm so happy with the way everything turned out and I'm so glad I went for the cut crease. It definitely amped up this look and made it super fun for date night. And it's been a while since I did like a full glam cut crease, winged liner, and lashes and just really went for it. So it's fun to be back. I love these kind of looks. They're really my favorite. I'm a glam girl at heart, so I always love when I can kind of like do it all in one look and really like spend my time. So I'm gonna go out to dinner now. I'm ready for a glass of wine. I'm ready to catch up with my husband. But I hope that you guys are having a great day wherever you are. Please subscribe down below if you aren't already subscribed. I would love to have you back for more videos. And please let me know what you guys want to see next on my channel. So I will see you guys in my next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!